Now let's take a look at how to record and work with some audio to add to your video. So first of all, if you notice in the My Media section, you can import, like we mentioned in the last section, but you can also record directly from your computer into WeVideo. So if I hit record, you'll see that I have three options. I can record just my webcam, which would really mainly just be me speaking. I can do a screen recording, which would just be recording my screen and my voice narration at the same time. Or I can do my screen with the webcam, which what that does is it gives you the look you've probably seen in other videos online, where it'll do the screen recording, but then in the corner there'll be a small picture of yourself speaking, and that will be using your webcam. So you'll be essentially recording your screen and yourself on the webcam at the same time. For right now, I'm just going to do a screen recording. So you choose what you want and hit next. And then you just want to check your whatever microphone that you're using. So if you need to change it, you can go ahead and do that. Then hit next. And then it's going to ask you, it kind of looks a little bit like Google Meet here, but what is it that you want to record? Do you want to record your entire screen? Do you want to record a window or even a Chrome tab? So I'll say a Chrome tab, and we'll choose the one that has the buzz. And then I go ahead and hit share. And now I see this menu up at the top, but essentially what's happening is it's recording everything that I do on the screen, and the screen changes. It's also recording my voice as I speak. When I'm finished, I'll just hit stop sharing, and then I'll head back to the WeVideo tab, and I'll see that I have a preview here that I can play and listen to. If it was, I need to redo it, I can just go ahead and say record again. And if you want to save this, you just hit save. And what that'll do is add it up into your media and also add it to your timeline. So the one thing that I didn't mention in the previous video, but is important to note, is that all the media that you add to your project, even if you edit it down here, the original media is always going to be untouched up here. So let's say I did a ton of editing on this now, and then I decided, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I can just delete it and bring the original clip back as many times as I want. But this is how you can easily do a screen recording. I'm going to actually delete that out of my video. Another way that you can record, and now we're really getting into mainly working with audio, is you can just also do a narration. Now I'm going to move my playhead back so that I can narrate my video. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and click narrate. And one thing you can decide is, do you want to mute the recording or mute the video while you're recording? I would recommend doing this for most narrations, because otherwise you're going to hear the audio twice in the recording, because it'll record the whatever you have in your video, and then it'll also play it again. So you're going to want to keep this muted, and you're going to go ahead and just hit record. It's going to count you down. And then what it's doing is it's playing the video, and so that I see the video as I'm speaking and narrating over it. When I'm ready to hit stop, I just hit stop. You can preview it by playing it. You can, if you don't like it, just hit record again. It'll delete your recording. To save it, you just go ahead and hit save. So this recording is also going to be saved into my media. So you'll notice that you'll have, like, I have several different recordings, but they actually are dated and timed. So that's how you can tell them apart. And then of course you can always right click and rename them. And I'll just say WeVideo. One thing you'll also notice now, if I scroll down on my timeline, It also created a new track and just named it voiceover for me. So this is the audio track already added into the video. Now, other audio that you can add into your project, you can grab right here from the menu and click audio. What you'll find is that there's all kinds of options here for audio to add into your project. So there's a whole library of background music that is organized by genre that you can actually just browse. So if you're sort of like, oh, I want happy music or relaxing, or even hip hop or holiday music, you can kind of browse this way. You can also search audio. So if I wanted something that was Western, I could just type in Western and it'll kind of bring back some options for Western music. What I can do is just click on it, whoops, and it'll start playing it, as you can see. If you like it, what you can do is, just drag that down to your timeline. Now, you do want to make sure that you're going to clip your audio at the end of the video. So you don't want the audio to keep playing after the video is sort of finished. So you'll want to cut this off, and you'll do that just like you would a video clip. Just put your playhead where you want to cut it and just use the scissor. And now you can just delete this part of the clip. The other thing you'll want to do with background music is really adjust the volume, and you can do that a couple of ways, but the easiest is just to use the slider right here on your track and just move it down pretty low. You want to make sure that the background music is not going to overflow all the rest of the sounds that you have going on. So I've got a lot going on right here right now. When you get to this section, I will have 3 different audios going at once, which is probably not recommended, but let's see what it does. Okay, so obviously I would need to do some adjusting on that. But just so you're aware too, you can also get sound effects in here. So let's say I wanted like a bell. I can just type in like bell, and there's all different kinds of bells that you can add. So here's another bell, all different types of bells. So if I wanted to add a bell, since my audio stuff is getting a little crowded here, if I want the bell to be at the same time as all the rest of this audio, then I'm going to need to add another track in order to put it on. If I want the bell to maybe just be at the end, I can just drag it down at the end. You can also drag it, let's say I wanted it at the beginning. If you drag something in and it's already crowding the timeline, this little menu will pop up and you can just say insert and push, and it'll insert and push everything to the right so that you don't have to rearrange the timeline by clicking and dragging everything around. So that's basically how you would add audio in here. You also can, just so you're aware, you can double click on your audio, and you'll just be able to click here, and you can do things like fade it in and out. So you could say like at 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. I want it to fade in, I want it to fade out, and you can have the this is the volume level. So you can kind of play around with that as well and kind of fade in and out. You'll see the fade shows right here. And then you can even adjust these little points and move them around if you don't like it. So I can kind of say, oh, I don't want it to start from nothing. I just want it to be a little quieter. And I can even decide that, I want this to actually fade differently. So once you add a fade, you can actually manually move it around as well.